Hey, if I can brush while we talk, you can eat while we talk. It's okay. We're family.
Life.
I will take a coffee.
Okay, we're already talking, but go get your coffee. I will introduce Alyssa again.
Alyssa.
That's what I said.
You said Alyssa.
We are alive.
Yes, but go get your coffee. It's okay.
Yeah? It's fast.
Okay, go get coffee.
Oh, these pancakes were good.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to show everybody your Instagram, and I want you to say hello again. It's been a little while since you've been with us. Tell them who you are and why you're awesome and where you live and what you're going to do with us.
Okay. Hi, people. I'm going to do what your mother says you shouldn't. I'm going to talk with my mouth full. My name is Elise Sanders. I'm originally from Los Angeles, California, but I've been in Brazil for most of the past 2 decades. I live in Salvador, Bahia. I also lived in São Paulo for about a decade. And I'm a singer. I sing jazz, and I'm now moving out. I sing some bossa nova, and now I'm moving out into more like my own compositions and mixing, elements of Brazil with elements of different African music styles. And so lately I've been mostly working on producing new material. And when Yusef finally invited me to participate and said he wanted to talk about bossa nova, I said, well, I'm an expert in bossa nova, but I know some people who can speak to it better than me. And one of the people who taught me what I know mostly about bossa nova in terms of like the history of it and the technical elements, like the theory behind it, is the gentleman with the in the middle who's joining us, Le Ministrel, who is a musician who also lives here in Bahia. He lives in my neighborhood. I ran into him on the beach yesterday. How cool is that?
Nice.
We are criminals.
I was going to say, why aren't you in your house, not on the beach?
I will go insane if I have to stay only in the house.
Alexandre, I don't drink coffee. I drink tea.
Tea?
I drink very little coffee. I lived in Asia for many years, Thailand, Japan, China, and tea is a little calm.
You're right. Someday I'll can do that because I'm an addicted in coffee. I can't live without coffee all the time. I'm drinking coffee.
Good morning, Roynell. Good morning, Shyla.
Hey, Shyla.
You two know each other, right? Yeah.
No, just online.
No, you really? Okay, yeah, you two gotta hang out. And good morning to my good buddy Craig. Love Bossa Nova. Good music, great topic. So let's do this, Alexandre. I understand.
Okay.
Listen, fala. Desculpa, eu preciso muito praticar o meu português, Dia e dia. But I want everyone to know that he is our guest, and his English is not perfect, but it is better than my Portuguese, and I am honored to have him here speaking to us in a second language. I'm sorry, I can't go English Portuguese yet. I can only like wake up and do one, but my goal is when I visit you, we can speak in Portuguese because I take classes every day.
Nice.
So,
okay.
Good morning, dear sister reigning woman. Let's do this.
And Le Ministrel's English better than he even realizes.
So, tell us who you are. Tell us your history.
Okay. I am Alexandre Menestrel, Le Menestrel. I am a musician. I'm a composer, Brazilian composer. I am in the road since 1991 or two. I don't remember. And I have a relation with samba. I like samba very much. I like the music, but I have a relation, more deep relation with this manifestation. No? And bossa nova is a kind of samba, and I
Really?
like it very much. And yeah, it is. And but we have things, different things, but it is. So I'm here to speak. I'm trying to speak. I apologize. My English, like I
Doing great.
said before, it's not very. I'll try. That's it.
It's okay. It's okay. So let's do this. I'm also going to give everybody.
And it's a pleasure to be. And it's a pleasure to be here with you both and the people there out there.
Wow.
Yeah,
I hope everyone follows him on Instagram as well. Listen to his music, the things he does. So here is my problem. Okay. In the beginning, I started listening to music in Brazil, and they said, "No, you are listening to Brazilian jazz." And I said, "Is it jazz?" And then I find out when I arrive, no, it's not. It's bossa nova. Hey, Carlton, let's catch up at some point, my friend. Good morning, Sid.
Mhm.
Sid speaks Portuguese. He's going to be down here having coffee with us one day.
Cool.
Okay. So, can you tell me? You said bossa nova is, would you say, the child of samba? Oh, wait, did we lose him? Did the internet cat? Oh, he's coming back.
Okay.
Okay, there we are. I asked an important question. I said, is bossa nova the child of samba?
The web broke it,
It's
and I
okay.
didn't.
Did you hear the
Okay.
question?
You did a question about the bossa nova now. For me,
Yeah.
yeah, João Gilberto in the 50s of the 20th century found another way to play the samba. That's the beginning of bossa nova. Another way to play, especially the way of sing and the way of do the harmony to follow the way that he sings. So before the word bossa is a word. I don't know how do you say gíria, Alisa?
Slang.
Is a name. What?
Slang.
Slang.
Uh-huh.
The bossa was a slang used in Brazil to say the way of walking, my way to do the things. A black slang of the 30 years, and when João Gilberto appeared, the people started to name this like our bossa, the bossa of ourselves. and a new way of do the things, and that's why we call bossa nova. Nova is new in Portuguese, and uh, that's the first movement of this of bossa nova. But jazz has there obviously an influence in bossa nova, but I don't I but it isn't bossa nova, but it isn't jazz. It's very different about jazz. And when Tom Jobim looked, heard how João Gilberto played and sing, he started to write songs, to write the songs using the way that he likes to sing and play, and not, and that's why born the bossa nova music specifically with Tom Jobim.
So let me ask a question then. What are some of the more famous original bossa nova songs? Like, for example, when you first started getting introduced, at least when you first started getting introduced to bossa nova, what were the songs that introduced you to it?
I was in the States when I first heard bossa nova, so it was the things that made it to the States, like Brazil 66, which was Sergio Mendes, and actually the singers were American.
So let me back up there. I'm not familiar with that song. Could you give us a few bars?
Brazil 66 was a group.
Oh, give us a few of some of the songs that we might hear, we might know.
They did Mais Que Nada, which
No, I want to hear you sing.
Mais que nada, sai da minha frente que quero passar, pois o samba está animado. O que eu quero é sambar. Esse samba é mesmo de maracatu. É samba
de What are some of the more common songs that we get to hear that we might recognize?
Oh, Girl from Ipanema, of course. Pretty much everything from Tom Jobim is what people know of bossa nova in the States, because he went to the States and he was kind of discovered by Frank Sinatra, who put him up in Carnegie Hall. So he was able to get into the American mainstream. And then there are themes that are, thank you, Ellie. Then there are themes that jazz musicians, picked up and became part of the kind of standards of jazz that people played.
Because I grew up, my namesake, I was named after my grandfather, my father, and a jazz musician named YusefWateef. And my father introduced me to jazz. And what's interesting is that we went in very different directions with the kind of jazz that we liked. Because for me, he liked things like Chet Baker, Bach. But for me, I like, do you know Charles Mingus? Charles Mingus.
Well,
say again?
Are you hear me? I don't know what's happening.
We hear you, no problem.
Yeah. You hear me? Because I'm not seeing anything.
We see.
I'm not seeing anything.
I don't.
What? I don't know what you are seeing me.
Yeah, we see you. We hear you.
You can see me?
Yes.
But
yeah, okay. I'm not seeing anything. But let's go.
So Charles Mingus was the kind of the style that I gravitated to, which, it was often, he was an unpleasant man, and it came out in his music, and it was very earthy and very aggressive. And I think that's why I liked it. My father was kind of more of trying to get rid of his demons kind of music. I like that just, get right in your guts.
Nice.
Wow. So yeah, I think "Girl from Ipanema" is probably the one song that most people hear. Who wrote that song?
That was Tom Jobim and Vinicius. Was it Vinicius de Moraes? Did he do the lyrics, Ministro?
Wow. And what year was that? Because that song.
So there were a couple of notable partnerships in Bossa Nova. And actually I'd like Lei to speak about this, how Bossa Nova came from Bahia and from samba and went to the middle class white neighborhoods of Rio. Start in the, so you have
actually the Bahia, João Gilberto was from Bahia.
Mm-hmm.
In the country of Bahia. He was born in the... Are you hearing me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yes.
Hi.
We can hear you. What's up?
Hi.
We can hear you.
There's no problem hearing your voice. Stop touching the telephone.
When it rains here in Bahia, the internet is so bad. In our particular neighborhood, it's worse. So let me just send a message. We can hear you.
There we go. So what he was saying is, can you tell us more about Salvador and Bahia?
Me or Minister?
Minister.
Well, I can tell you the part that I know. I'll tell you a story I know about João Gilberto until he comes back. João Gilberto is from Juazeiro, which is a city in the countryside of Bahia along the Rio São Francisco, the San Francisco River. So it's very different from Salvador. But you do have some Black, it's a population that has some Black, Indigenous, and Portuguese. And it's the culture of the sertão, which is kind of like Brazil's version of the Wild Wild West, right? So João Gilberto was from this region. And like Ministra was saying, Bossa Nova is a form of samba, and he can clarify this, but from what I understand, what he did, because samba has percussion, lots of percussion, but Bossa Nova doesn't. Bossa Nova, the percussion is mostly on the guitar. So that was kind of the revolution of it, was taking...
Remember, you're talking to civilians. What do you mean by percussion?
So samba has drums, samba has percussion, things that hold the rhythm, you know? So we have all different types of drums for samba. We have the pandeiro, we have the cuica, If you ever watch a samba school, you'll see that most of the instruments are percussive instruments. There's a thing called an agogo, which is like a cowbell sort of thing. So percussion is instrumental to samba. You can play samba without a guitar. And actually, there's some groups here in Itapuã that do roots, samba de roda. There's no chord instruments. It's all drums. And so what João Gilberto did, and because he was in Bahia and that influence was in his day-to-day, he put that percussion in his guitar playing in a way that hadn't been done before. And when he went to Rio, no one had heard this. And when he went to Rio, he went to work as a musician, and he got into a group of musicians, which included Tom Jobim, who were white upper middle class. This was in the late 50s, early 60s. White upper middle class people from Rio. Well, back then, white people didn't listen to samba. Samba was kind of in the same way where jazz was marginalized. Samba in Brazil, and even now to an extent, that's the Black folks, that's the music that they play, up in the favelas, or that we call the morros. And it was criminalized for a while, even, to be a
The
samba.
music was criminalized. That sounds so familiar.
just like jazz. So João Gilberto brought this style of samba on guitar, and these people had never heard that. It blew their minds. And so they wanted to do that, you know. So you had Jobim, you had, you know, that whole group, Nara Leão. Gosh, I can't think of all the names. Ministrel will be able to say more of the main names. But it became this new thing, like you were saying, this Bossa Nova, like the new, kind of like the new swag sort of thing.
Huh.
It came out of Bahia and it came out of samba. And I had a roommate here who was from Juazeiro, the city that João Gilberto is from. And her mother was the same age as he was. And she told me this really great story because, you know, João Gilberto is probably maybe the most famous Brazilian musician worldwide. And she went home to her mom, who was like 80 at the time, I don't know, in her 70s. Said, Mom, you know João Gilberto, he's really famous. And she's like, what, little John? Because they called him Joãozinho. Like, imagine, this is a guy you went to high school with. He was a nerd. He was kind of an outcast. He was a pothead. This is her mother's memory, right? So she's like, oh, hi, Clécia. So she's like, oh, Joãozinho, what? He's famous? Your friend from the United States knows about him? Why?
Why?
No idea. It was worldwide fun. I was like, that kid that used to smoke pot and play guitar with the priest. So according to my friend's mom, there was a black priest who he hung out with. I don't know if he was a pothead too, but apparently he learned to play guitar. This priest, this is a black priest. So of course he's teaching him samba. So like, I love these ways that, you know, this little interaction from this, you know, outcast in the countryside of Bahia revolutionized Brazilian music. Because I mean, Bossa Nova has to be Brazil's biggest musical export ever.
Wow. Well, here's the thing. Oh, and I put in the comment section for people who want more, some of the ensayos that I went to, which breaks my heart because Carnival is something in Brazil that everyone should do at least once, right? But I will go to ensayos until the wheels fall off. I love ensayos.
Does everyone know what an ensayo is?
Well, explain it to them.
So Carnival, people start preparing for Carnival in Bahia. They start preparing in October because there will be songs of Carnival that you have to learn, and there are dances that you have to learn. And so in Rio and São Paulo, it's really serious because they're the samba schools, and like all that stuff you see on TV, it's choreographed and it's actually a contest. Like when they're going down it's like the samba drum. They have judges and they're like rating the music and the dance and the percussion, and it's like serious. It's like the Olympics. And so people are rehearsing to learn the songs, they're rehearsing to learn the dances, they're getting their costumes ready. And so I don't know when it starts in São Paulo. Does it start in October too, or is it more like around December?
November, December.
Okay.
Yeah, more November, December, and in São Paulo, you know, I've got to come to the ensayos there because ensayos are just so much more fun, in my opinion, because you're listening to some amazing music that might not even make it to Carnival. But the songs, the dances, the heart, the effort, I mean, it's amazing. You know what? I want to give a big shout out to my buddy Kai Adderley, who shared this with us. Do you actually own that, Kai? Wow. And is Cannonball Adderley a relative?
Nice.
Because you share a name. Are you related? But I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna have to find that online. I'm gonna find that online.
That must be really good. Wow.
Thanks for sharing that with us.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh wow, there you go. Cannonball Adderley, great uncle's brother.
Nice. Oh, right. It's relative. Wow.
It's the relative.
Family. Okay. That took a second to click.
Yeah, the name being the same.
Right.
But let me send him a message. I hope he can get back on. I hope his phone or his computer hasn't conked out on him.
Yeah.
Or can you send him a WhatsApp?
I should tell him to come to my house because he could get here in like 10 minutes.
Yeah, if he wants to just come there, because I like you said, if he was using his phone, it might not be the best.
Okay, I'm gonna call him. Do you want me to step off the screen or just call him?
No, how about I'll just mute you, or you just mute yourself.
Oh, how do I do that? Okay.
There you go. All right, so folks, for me, this was a good bit of education, and it's always good to get with people who know the thing that we're talking about. This is also a great chance to, hold on, let me scroll back up to team captain, what our team captain said. BK from the Rockies, who's always making sure that I'm remembering to do things like, share, and subscribe. If you're watching this on Facebook, there's a helicopter outside. Okay, there we go. If you're watching this on Facebook, make sure you click the YouTube link. It's like the first comment. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube, because I talk about 3 big things on my channel. I talk about world travel, and I also talk about my life in Brazil as a expat, now permanent resident, and the things that I do here. I also talk about a lot of world events. We talk about a lot of things that happen socially with large groups of friends. And we also talk about my favorite subject, money. We talk about saving money, making money, avoiding credit. I was able to semi-retire at 37, and I'm able to share that with a lot of the people. And my channel grew because of people like you guys, who I'm eternally grateful for, who share the channel. Because remember, it's not just a matter of watching and subscribing. Put this on your timeline. Share it someplace online. Share it on your Twitter or your IG or your Facebook, wherever. Just click share somewhere. And I'd really appreciate that. And it also gives us a lot more information. As a matter of fact, specific to Brazil, I'll take time while they're sorting out who can get where. I want to show you guys something that's come up in direct relation to Brazil. And Alyssa, this is not necessarily on music while we're waiting for him, but I want to show you something that has been a big deal here. A lot of people here know me because of my career as an editor, proofreader, things of that nature. Over the past 2 years, something I did passively, but not really as a big deal, was I help people coming to Brazil do their paperwork. Because I have my immigration status correct, because I'm a permanent resident, I've always been able to guide people through the things that they need to do and how they need to do them. And recently, I just had to make it a full-fledged, I had to go on and just say, yeah, this is part of my business, because the influx of people coming to Brazil, I tell everybody to catch me on LinkedIn. I'm the same name everywhere because I am who I am. But I've been doing expat relocation services privately for about 1.5 years, 2 years. And I've had to actually go live with it because I'm at a point where I've had to hire staff. I'm at a point where this has become such a big deal, particularly for people saying, I want to get out of America. I've read enough from American propaganda to know that you can't trust what anybody says. So first, they start by looking at people like me and you and figure out Brazil is actually a good place to go. So these are what I do for people. I help them plan their agenda, visa, residency permit applications, SUS cards, document translations, apostille, housing, finding, all those things. And if anybody needs any help, this is who I am, and this is something that I do that I've been able to help a lot of people with. And the big thing I tell folks is don't just read the resume, go to the most important part on LinkedIn, and that part is recommendations. This is where professionals who know who I am are willing to, under their real name, say this guy is legit. Pay him. That's what it is. So what about you? Have you been dealing with a lot of people talking about getting out of the United States?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
No, I haven't been having those conversations actually. Yeah.
It's on me all day.
Well, yeah, I mean, profession too.
Wow. So what's he gonna do? Is he gonna just jump back on his computer?
He lives about 10 minutes away from me, and I'm gonna put a chair 6 feet apart. Hey, gotta be
in isolation.
Huh?
We're in isolation, remember?
We are, but I just saw him. So if I have COVID, he has it too, because I ran into him at the beach yesterday. I think we're both fine. We're both being very careful. We live in the same neighborhood, so he's going to walk over. I'm going to spray him down when he gets here. We're both going to wear masks.
So let me ask this, since you always talk about meeting him on the beach. One day I'd like to go live with you again. If your internet connection is good enough on your phone, I want you to give us a tour of your neighborhood. Show us where you live, what you do.
Okay.
You know, I want to see more of where you live because I hear wonderful things about it.
Okay.
I hear wonderful things about it.
Not during the quarantine, there's not really anything happening here. Most things are shut down.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I've been robbed of the best thing about life in Brazil is that there's, and especially in Sao Paulo, such a giant metropolitan city, there's always something to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, here things are really, really quiet. There's not many people on the street. Everything but the supermarkets have been shut down for a while. Not much happening. So maybe by summertime, if there's stuff happening, or beginning of 2021, because I think we're going to be, I don't think things are going to be going back to the way they were for a while.
No, they won't. I just, these giant outdoor gatherings and music and culture and food. I am so glad that I leave room in my weightlifting routine and eating plans to go out and just go to the giant festivals and eat as much as I can, because those days of walking down the street and just getting one of those, and just stuffing my face, those might be gone. Those parties aren't there anymore.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. I've been thinking about that a lot in terms of music. Like, are we ever going to get back to a time where there are going to be shows? Because that's apparently one of the most dangerous things is singing.
Wait, why is singing more dangerous than just being around people?
Because when you're singing, you're breathing harder and more droplets.
Your air goes out. And everybody wants to be in the first row. Everybody wants to be right underneath the artist.
And even if you're not, though, if you're in an enclosed space, which most shows are, that air circulates, those droplets circulate. So there was a choral group in Seattle when it first came out, COVID. They're like everyone in the group. One person got it, and then like everyone in the group got it because they were singing for hours during rehearsals, circulating air.
What was the mortality rate with them?
What was the what?
The mortality. Did they all manage to pull through?
Not all of them, no.
Wow.
But we will be responsible here. I have a big. We're in an area where I have windows and doors open. There's a big breeze. I'll have my mask. He'll have his mask. We'll be 6 feet apart.
Yeah.
We want
you
to.
air breathe.
Yeah.
So, what was the big trigger for you to move to Brazil to pursue music?
I didn't move here to pursue music, actually. Music.
Well, not be over with a feather.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't a musician when I moved here. I was one of those people that sang in the shower.
Really? Please educate us.
Yeah, I loved singing, but I was terribly afraid of singing in front of people, like to the point of like almost passing out. Like I just didn't sing in front of people unless I was in a choir, because then no one was looking just at me. So, but I don't know, sometimes Yusef, life will let you get away from what you're supposed to do for a while. And then at some point it starts taking away your options. And that happened for me around 2006. And actually Ministrel was one of the key people involved in me starting to look at singing on stage, because he was already performing and he was really encouraging and was helping me with starting to do some Brazilian songs on stage. And in 2007, I went to Sao Paulo, and kind of on a whim, or I don't know, call it fate, I went to Barreto. Have you been to Barreto, the Hotel Fazano? If it comes back, I don't know. It's probably the best piano bar in Sao Paulo, or it was at the time. The Fazano is this very exclusive 5-star hotel, and it was kind of like one of those, I don't know. When you think back to the 30s, what was like a jazz bar in the 30s with the low lights, smoke room.
Like to go to places like that We went to the Sky Bar, and it's like, I don't go to places where people don't talk to each other. I'm not saying they're bad or wrong and they're great places. That's just not why. I mean, if I wanted that, I could. I mean, that's just not for me. I like going places where people talk to each other, where there's a feeling of, I mean, but again, I came from a background before I retired. I was a financial professional where I was wearing, silk ties and gold cufflinks everywhere to those kind of places. And I'm just, So we have a couple questions. Let me do this. First, Pasquale, I understand the spirit of your question, but that's not really something that's appropriate to ask right now. So we're going to skip that. And we're going to go straight to Chris and say, good day. Speaking of crowds, do you think Carnival 2021 will occur? I planned on going, but it doesn't look good. Chris. I don't think that's an option. Carnival is what, February or March?
Yeah, in February, March usually.
It's in February, March. And for the people who are watching on the other side of the equator, remember, in the United States, Christmas time is winter time. Excuse me. But in Brazil, down south of the equator, Christmas time is the middle of summer. We're flipping. So when you hear about us having Carnival in February, it's because it's during the middle of, the hottest, best parts of summer. Two.
Oh, is it hot? Uh-oh, you choke on your tea?
No. Well, I make my tea loose leaf, and I think I mix all my own, whatever I want that morning. I'll put a little ginger, maybe a little picao preto, make that.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Oh my goodness. Read what Sid said.
So Sid, you can actually get acarajé to go here in Itapuã. We have Cira, who's one of the most famous baianas of acarajé here in Bahia. Fortunately, she's like 2 blocks away from my house. So right around 4 or 5 in the afternoon, you can go there. They got a whole system. They're there wearing their mask. You get your little ficha, like your little chip. You pay your money. Go stand over there. They call you when your acarajé is ready. Give it to you. Go home and eat it. So if you're here, Sid, I don't know, where are you, Sid? You can still get acarajé. At least in my neighborhood, you can.
And the name of your city is spelled Itapua, correct?
So the city is Salvador, but Itapuã is a neighborhood.
The neighborhood, I apologize. So my thing is, I've never had acarajé because I'm allergic to shellfish.
Oh well.
I've eaten a bunch of feijoada, but this is what she's talking about.
There she is. Yep. Acarajé da Cira. She actually lives, I can see her house from my house. She lives right across the plaza from me. And do you guys do Cosme e Damião there? Do you have that? And I don't think São Paulo does that. It's a saint day. Cosme e Damião, Cosme and Damien, they're Catholic saints, they're twins. And here it's associated with the Ibejis, which from the Candomblé, the Ifa tradition, are twin Orisha children. They're the children of Oshun. And so Children's Day that also happens in October kind of gets combined with Cosme de Damião and the Ibejis. And people have these celebrations called carurus, which is one of the most beautiful cultural manifestations here in Bahia. The caruru is kind of a day of giving thanks for all of the abundance you've been given. And so people will have these big parties, and it's on the 27th of September, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's 27th of September. They have a big party, and they have the traditional caruru foods, which is caruru, it's an okra, kind of like kalulu in the Caribbean, except it doesn't have the leaf. So we have caruru, we have acarajé, we have...
Can you spell it for us? Caruru?
Chinchim de galinha, all of these traditional foods, which are also foods from Candomblé. And candy and cakes and sweets for kids. And on the day of the caruru, everyone gets to eat whatever they want. And for people like Cira, or people that like, maybe they made a promise, like, hey, if you Oh, he's here. Hold on a second. Okay, listen. Eles estão super curiosos sobre a Bahia.
So while they're getting all sanitized, bom dia. It is delicious. And Davi, no, she's just been in Brazil long enough to know how to spell everything. You know, she's fluent in the language, and I'm glad we could bring you some relief, Sid. You know, I'll tell everybody the problem that I have is because in São Paulo, you know, I have so much business that's done in English. It kind of spoils my Portuguese language. I have to fight to go an entire weekend only speaking Portuguese and staying away from my friends who speak English. You know, and that's the problem that I have. That's neither here nor there. But I want to tell you guys about hearing what you know, Brazil has so many foods that one of my favorites, by the way, is something you cannot eat often or you'll just get fat. You've heard me talk about it here, folks. Feijoada. This is the thing that I'm going to ask if they munch on up there a lot. Because, by the way, you can't be good at a whole lot of stuff and eat feijoada because after this, you will need a nap.
You get the itis.
You will need to go lay down. Okay. Now.
They give him my guitar.
What a thing.
Can you hear us?
Now, Elisa, did you see what Davi said about you?
She's Brazilian, definitely.
Because what he said was your spelling was so good that you sounded like you were native, and I told him the reason that I in Sao Paulo don't get to native fluency as fast as a lot of my friends is because I do so much business in English that I have to fight to have 2 days where I'm only speaking Portuguese.
Right. Yeah, you learn faster if you're here alone too. Cleicia!
Oi, meu amor.
Resolvemos o problema. So, Yusef, can I finish talking about the caruru and Cira? I was telling him about Cira's caruru aqui.
Okay.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so on the 27th, they have this thing called the caruru, and it's to celebrate the Ibejis, Cosme and Damião, children. And people in abundance, like if you've been given a blessing, like Cira has a really successful business with acarajé. So she opens her house to the entire neighborhood. Yusef, it is so beautiful, and it happens right across the street from my house. This is a casa dela ali. She opens up her house. She makes more food than like, I don't know, like literally everyone from the neighborhood comes. Kids, people living on the streets, they just line up. And there is food for everyone. Chicken, acarajé, caruru, fruit, all of the traditional foods that you have for caruru. So that's the first day. Now she does two. She does a second day that's just for the kids. Yusef, there's an entire room, like probably half the size of my house. Every type of cake, every type of cookie, every type of candy, chocolate, cocada. I mean, just pull plates and plates and plates of sweets. The kids walking there with like will explode. And
what's the name of the holiday?
It's called Dia 27. Tem nome.
The day of Cosme Damião Santos. That's the name of the saints that we do this because of the Orishas called Ibeji. There are two children, brothers and twins brothers that we celebrate here.
Bahia de Todos os Santos?
No, Bahia. No, it's only these two saints, these two twin saints that we celebrate. They are very important to us here in Salvador. It's especially important, and they eat the food of their parents, the Orisha parents. So
traditional foods of
the traditional food. So they eat everything: caruru, vatapá, xinxin. Only one kind of this type of food is alive because they have so delicious histories of this food because they are rituals foods. They are from Candomblé. That food.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, and so let's go back. And by the way, Davi, I like cocada as well.
So come here around the 27th of September. You can get all the free cocada you want.
I take a little bit of cocada, but I like it bem escuro, very the dark.
Cocada preta.
I like that one too.
Do you guys have acoustic bars?
Yeah.
Acoustic bar.
Like bars where you play Bossa Nova.
Yeah. I live from them.
Make your live.
Look at Black Torch. My weakness is Arakachi. There we go. Is that correct?
No, Cosme and Damião, they are the Catholic saints. And the Ibejes in Bahia, there's a process in Bahia called syncretism. There was a way that the slaves or the enslaved Africans were able to preserve their religious traditions by masking them underneath Catholic saints because slaves were not allowed to openly practice their religion. So the Ibejes already existed in the Yoruba pantheon. And when in Catholicism, there was already Cosme and Damião, so they said, great, we're going to tell you that we're celebrating Cosme and Damião, but we are really celebrating the Ibejes. And so it's a blend, but kind of not. It was a way of preserving the religion, and that's like if you go to a traditional Candomblé house, they're not going to celebrate Cosme and Damião, but popularly, because not everyone follows Candomblé, people will say they're doing it for Cosme and Damião.
Yeah.
Huh.
Survival.
So, you gave him a guitar when he walked in, so I guess that means we're going to get a treat, right?
I hope so. Someone's got to play this.
Why not?
You might have to. He took off his mask.
You know what? He can show you Bossa Nova. Você pode explicar como eu não sei se eu falei certo. Porque a coisa da bossa é que ele trouxe o ritmo do samba para violão. Você quer explicar mais sobre isso? A gente mostrar pra gente?
Well, Bossa Nova is something like I said before, we have the medium. That's the first medium class music.
Middle class.
Middle class music is the first, because that's the first time that samba came in structures of more high structures of the society.
Mm-hmm.
And you have another thing that's very important. The guitar, the acoustic guitar here were always very popular. So put this guitar in the high society or the great struggle of João Gilberto in the 50s, because it were forbidden, prohibido.
Forbidden.
It were forbidden in 10 or 20 years before by oppressor government. I don't know, ditadura. Dictatorship of Getúlio Vargas. Because everything about black people was forbidden. So I'll show you something.
Okay.
This song is from Tom Jobim, and the name is Corcovado.
Can I sing with you?
Yeah, I'll play that, and yeah, I'll play.
Can you do it in B flat? Esse tom eu não consigo, é você. Eu não consigo.
Wanna sing?
I can't do it in that tone.
Cantinho, violão, esse amor uma canção, pra ver feliz a quem se ama. Muita coisa pra pensar, muito tempo pra sonhar. Vejo da janela o Corcovado e o Redentor. Que lindo, quero a vida sempre assim, com você perto de mim, até o apagar da velha chama. E eu que era triste, descrente desse mundo, ao encontrar você, eu conheci o que é felicidade, meu amor. Quero a vida sempre assim, com você perto de mim, até o apagar a velha chama. E eu que era triste, descrente desse mundo, ao encontrar você, eu conheci o que é felicidade, o que é felicidade, o que é felicidade, meu amor.
Thank you.
So that's the bossa nova, the classic bossa nova. But the samba, I'd like to speak better to explain better to you the social circumstances of the difference of this music. But I think it's easier for me to explain it plain.
Well, go
Plain.
for it. I am happy.
Because the technology of microphones. This song could be possible only with good microphones. The revolution of the technology in 50s, and because before that, the people here in the radio, the singers, the crooners, yeah, something like this. You have something with the opera. This is a samba canção, a type of samba that João Gilberto loved to play and sing before the creation of Bossa Nova.
So samba canção is another. Oh gosh, hold on. There's noise outside because we live in a noisy neighborhood. I think they stopped right in front of the house. Okay, so samba canção.
What is that?
It's noisy here. I think
Some,
it's the trash people.
I think a car.
No, it's the trash can.
Yeah, their car, big car.
Their car, right? Samba canção is a type of samba that was popular in the 30s and the 40s. So
And
Noel
50s.
Rosa in 50s too, and 50s.
No, Noel Rosa isn't samba canção.
He's not samba canção. What
No,
is he?
samba.
He's samba. Okay. So samba canção.
It's
is
a
kind of
romantic,
like a romantic samba.
the romantic samba.
Yeah.
It's very near, close with bolero, no?
Ah, really? Okay.
You have something about the bolero. O seu amor e o seu carinho, diga que você já me esqueceu. Pise machucando com jeitinho esse coração que ainda é seu. Diga que o meu pranto é covardia, mas não se esqueça que você foi meu um dia. Diga que já não me quer, negue que me pertenceu. Eu mostro a boca molhada e ainda marcada por um beijo seu. You see, they're very different. It's very different.
Is that samba canção?
Samba canção.
Oh, yeah.
It's a samba canção. And the singer has to be a great voice.
Very potent, very strong.
Yeah, they have to, the vibratos, like my mother said.
His
Wow,
mother.
power.
Yeah. So and the samba that and the samba partido alto, the sambas that the people play in the communities, the neighborhood, the favelas, was a samba, a dancing samba, and talking about the reality of the people, and the composers of the favelas were the composers of all kinds of samba, all kinds of them. So,
most Americans think there's one type of samba. Do you want to explain? Yusef, would you like to know about the different kinds of samba?
Yeah, of course we would.
Do you want to explain a little bit about the different types of samba and play them?
I will play to you a typical samba from Rio de Janeiro. We call it partido alto. This kind of samba is an improvised samba. We have the string,
the
chorus that made for all the people sing, and the singer has
verses
to in the time, had to improvise that, improvise that. So I'll play. It will not be improvised now, but it's only to show you. Minha preta não sabe o que eu sei, só que vivi nos lugares onde andei. Quando eu contar, iaiá, você vai se pasmar. Quando eu contar, iaiá, você vai se pasmar. De um tipo diferente, assaltando a gente que é trabalhador, morando num morro muito perigoso, onde um tal de caveira comanda o vapor. Né, coitado do broto, o tal do garoto encontrou com caveira, levou um sacode e caiu na ladeira. Iaiá, minha preta morreu de bobeira. Simbora, iaiá, iaiá. Oh, iaiá, minha preta não sabe o que eu sei, o que vi nos lugares onde andei. Quando eu contar, iaiá, você vai se pasmar. So, it's a partido alto. That's the energy of the samba. The samba, the party samba, but the things that we talk in the lyrics are there's not foolish things that we are talking about. We are talking about
important things.
It's very important to us. And when Bossa Nova came for us, João Gilberto put this song to the high society, but in the way that they could hear. They could, because the difference when we hear, imagine here at 11 o'clock and 11 p.m. we are playing and doing a party and playing guitar. If we are talking like this, a insensatez, and everybody singing, it doesn't bother anyone. Doesn't bother anyone. But when you put black people celebrating and do
and you know that's just how we get in the States too, so people can relate. We are loud people, we like to celebrate, we like our music loud.
Yeah, and that's a way to see the life, to do the things. But when João Gilberto with your guitar, this acoustic guitar, and a very harmonic and typical instrument that samba used with the cavaco, with the cavaquinho. That's a little guitar.
Like a ukulele, but different tuning.
More high.
Is it a higher tuning?
Higher than ukulele. And well, and when came João Gilberto for us, he because he sings with a little voice, he developed a technique, a voice technique, to use the intervalos, the intervals, very little intervals, and intervals that we didn't use it before. And that's why we came near from jazz.
Okay.
Because the chords that we used, the chord that he used to follow his voice, were necessary to use. So this song that I played to you in United States, you know that a lot because I were listen documentary about the jazz, and I saw when Beatles went to United States, the papers wrote that I think it's amazing. They play chromatic scales. Because you don't know what is chromatic. No, chromatic. The natural scale, something like that. Saying.
I don't know anything about music, so for me this is new.
No, you know. But the knowledge that you have about the music, you see the albums of jazz, the criticals write things that he in the 50 compass. In the 50 compass, he made. He played a note. I don't know. It's very technical, and it's wrote in an album. So for us, we didn't know nothing about that because the harmony that we used before is very different the harmony that you used there in the United States. But now the harmony is coming near. That's why you know Bossa Nova and you know nothing about samba. Because when Frank Sinatra heard Tom Jobim, he took him to United States, and that's why Bossa Nova came a famous world music. And because Garota de Ipanema and I think
which is Girl from Ipanema.
Were recorded by Frank Sinatra.
Oh yeah, all the
he took the and you know they came in United States from a white man. And that's the process that happened with Bossa Nova, because the Bossa Nova is a for them and a white samba. But it isn't like that. Exactly like that. I'll show you.
But even class-wise today in Brazil, most Black people don't listen to Bossa Nova. Bossa Nova is really like more, I mean, they know what it is. But if you go to like anywhere in this neighborhood, no one is listening to Bossa Nova. Everyone will be listening to samba. And we live in a Black neighborhood mostly.
Yeah. Unfortunately, because Bossa Nova is very, is very important and very beautiful. And when I'm, you say something.
You met
My
me
friend
in
Robert,
Josh?
I met you before we met you, Josh.
Oh, cool. Hey, Sid. Good to re-meet you.
Yeah.
Ministro, can you talk about Samba de Roda? Can you play some Samba de Roda?
Yeah.
Someone wrote, that Samba de Roda.
Claro.
And I think it's interesting for people to understand the difference. Samba de Roda is the samba, I don't know if it's the original, maybe it's like the original samba. It comes from the countryside.
The searching man say that is the first samba.
The first samba is Samba de Roda. But it's not just dancing samba in a circle. It's a different style of samba. Yeah. It's the original style of samba. It's before samba came to the city, became urban. It was being played in the countryside, and it still is. And it sounds very different. Yeah. So I'm gonna ask if we can ask to play some samba de Roda. I'm gonna dance.
Oh yeah, sure. May I play something to show them what João Gilberto conseguiu?
What he was able to do?
What he's able to do with the music. I'll show you an example like this. You know Bob Marley, don't you?
Yes.
Bob Marley is something like. It's wonderful for us. And you know a song called Redemption Song?
Yes.
Yes. So if João Gilberto come to play this song, I think he could do like this. Old pirate, yeah, they roubar. Sold I to the merchant ships. Minutes after they took her on the bottomless pits, but my hand was made strong by the hand of the Almighty. We forward this generation triumphantly. Won't you help to sing the songs of freedom? It's all I ever had. Redemption songs. Redemption songs. Emancipate yourselves to mental slavery. Now back ourselves and free our minds. Have no fear for an atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop the time. How long shall they kill our prophets? Why we stand aside and look? Some say it's just a part of it. We've got to fulfill the book. Won't you help to sing the songs of freedom? Redemption song. Redemption song.
Wow.
There's the possibilities there.
You know
what?
I said this has been an amazing morning. I feel bad that I actually have work to do today. I wish we could stay here all day.
Oh,
so
me
let's
too.
do this. We have one request, but I'm going to say no. I don't want to do this today. I want you to promise to come back and sing for us again.
Of course. My pleasure to do that. Of course.
All right. Thank you both so much. And I hope everybody subscribes to their channels. I've put them up multiple times. They're in the comments. You know, things like this make staying at home a little easier to deal with. And I want to say thanks to you both.
Sure.
You both have done such an amazing thing for us this morning. But we got to go. You guys got stuff to take care of. Do you want to say anything special for goodbye?
Want to end with a samba de roda?
Thank you, and I'll play a samba de roda for you.
Can you do Quixabeira and then I'll sing with you? You know Quixabeira?
No.
Oh.
A mulher do coroné? Bora?
But I don't know the lyrics. I'll follow you. Wait. This is his song. He's going to do a samba de roda that he wrote.
Okay.
The Carioca samba is this. But here, it's like this.
Beautiful.
A mulher do coronel resolveu me elogiar. Clécia, meu amor. A mulher do coronel. Ai, 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 ai. Olá, Sérgio Meca. Resolveu me elogiar. Que bagunça no meio do samba. Seu Melito pegou seu pandeiro. Me piquei com minha viola. Mamãe, a todo corria. Quer saber o que sucedeu? Foi a vaca desapareceu e o bode dela mugia. Ave Maria, bora! Eita! A mulher do coronel.
Wow.
Oh,
Bye.
thank you very much.